All right, for more on this, let's bring in the former DHS Oversight Counsel and visiting fellow in the Border Security and Immigration Center at the Heritage Foundation, Mike Howell. Mike, thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Thanks for having me on.
So you saw that whole story there. It seems like, according to prosecutors, this is a GoFundMe scam. But with the increase in ICE enforcement, do you think that we will see more scams like this?
Oh, absolutely. The Democrats' rhetoric is so out of control that people are going to jump to fill that void. It's breeding ground for fake examples, fake stories when you have politicians calling ICE Nazis, Gestapo, and Eric Swalwell the other day called them terrorists. Of course, people are going to fill the void, make up fake stories that confirm the radicals' biases.
On top of all this, you've got ICE agents who are getting doxxed. In other words, their info is ending up online. They're being identified. How dangerous is that for those who are working for ICE?
Oh, it's extraordinarily dangerous. It's already been very dangerous. ICE officers have been shot at, assaulted. Assaults are up 830%. And that's a low ball number. And it's because Democrat politicians have put out the hit on them. They're politically mainstreaming violence through their rhetoric, whether it's Senator Padilla acting like a thug getting arrested or Representative McIver at the detention facility. They're telling the crazy people out in the country it is okay and acceptable to assault ICE officers, and that's why they want their masks off, because they want people to take up the political hit they're putting out on them.
On the flip side, you've got the argument for those who want the masks off, and one of the arguments is that you need accountability when it comes to law enforcement. If someone is acting inappropriately, how are you going to know who that person was if they're wearing a mask? So how do you strike the balance between safety for ICE officers, but making sure also that there's accountability?
No, there's no way that they can't figure out which ICE officer was involved in which thing. These things are endlessly papered. The facial identification is one means, but the only purpose for unmasking them is so people can run their faces through facial ID software and send protesters and others to do violence at their homes. There is no way that if something were to happen where an ICE officer did deserve accountability, which right now we're not seeing any examples of, that the government and other lawyers and such could not figure out who that individual was. The purpose of trying to demask them is only to hurt ICE officers.
When you look at what ICE goes through going forward, the big beautiful bill adds a lot of money to ICE, to immigration enforcement. What are some of the pitfalls, though, that can happen with scaling up that quickly?
It's a lot of money to get through the system in a very short period of time. They're going to need a lot more in the way of facilities, hardened facilities, not just pop-up centers for short-term fixes, but they need to build an immigration enforcement pipeline that can last a very long time. They need to train, to recruit, to also partner with a lot of other external agencies. And this is what the radicals don't understand. Mass deportations haven't started yet. The numbers are actually quite low as we stand right now. The numbers are going to get a lot higher, and I expect the radicals to get a lot more violent and a lot more upset.
We were talking to Congressman Mike Lawler last hour about the Dignity Act. I'm not going to ask you to weigh in specifically on that act, but the idea that you can't just fix the problem by increasing enforcement and calling it a day. That's at least their argument. You've got to have some type of immigration reform. Does Congress need to get at what drives people here and how you deal with the people who are here?
No, absolutely not. They already did. It's in the law. These people are here illegally. They have to go home. Congressman Lawler's dead wrong, as are his colleagues pushing for an amnesty. President Trump and Tom Homan proved you don't need that. They secured the border in weeks. Now it's time to solve for the illegals that are here. There are no trade-offs necessary. That would go against President Trump's central campaign promise for mass deportations. Enough of this amnesty talk. It's removal time, and mass deportation, that means commas, millions, a lot.
All right, out on the West Coast, you've got this from the Attorney General.
This could be a prison to house the worst of the worst. It could house illegal aliens. It could be multi-purpose, but we need beds for prisoners in this country. This is a terrific facility, needs a lot of work, but no one has been known to escape from Alcatraz and survive.
So that's Alcatraz right there for you. This is from Congressman Garamendi, a Democrat. He says of the plan to turn Alcatraz back into a prison, they should know better than to turn a 60-year-old museum into a prison because their boss got an idea from a movie he saw on television. This stunt is nothing more than a distraction from the countless mishaps Trump's feckless administration is involved in. So there's the back and forth on whether to turn Alcatraz back into a prison. It's a lovely tour if you can go out there. But is this a huge expense to turn an island back into a prison?
I haven't seen the final numbers, but the reality is they need hundreds of thousands of new detention beds to be able to execute mass deportation, whether that's Alcatraz or building new hardened facilities that can handle these flows, or prisons in states and localities or local sheriffs. You take every bed you can get your hands on in order to effectuate the mass deportation mission. That is why Congress gave them that much money. It's why the American people voted for Congress to do just that. And so any bed that we can take, we need to get illegal aliens in so they can be deported safely and quickly.
All right, Mike Howell, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.